Audacity?
Yeah, my Audacity is going. And Stinky Boy.
Chicken nugget.
Chicken nugget.
Chicken nugget. Is your sync chicken nugget?
Maybe.
All right, hang on. I'm syncing Audacity. Chicken nugget. All right.
Why do we sync the Audacity? Like, I feel like if we're gonna sync, we gotta say sync at the same time.
Well, because aren't we
like,
syncing it so that you know, like when I say sync, you line it up with Kaska's sync, and then that's when all our audios are in sync together and editing.
You try to use that as a marker. If it doesn't work for you, we'll just stop doing it. Like,
no, I'm just saying, like, syncing the audio so that there's no like delay or anything. That only works if we say sync at the same time. Like, if I say just sync and then you say sync in the middle of the episode,
well, we're not saying sync in the middle of the episode. We all say sync before, but then you only have to sync it up to where each of us said sync.
I still just have to cut it to like when you start the episode. Whatever. Let's just go.
That's fair. No, I get what he's saying. I do get what he's saying. I do get what he's saying.
How about we don't argue with the guy who does the audio editing on what makes his life easier as the audio editor?
Yeah, no,
it's fine. It's fine.
I will. Okay, it's fine.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying you're right, Knock.
But it doesn't matter.
Take the win. Take the win.
I'm not Canadian, but I'm sorry. I'm not Canadian. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Before we delve into basically a band of world eaters, welcome everybody to the some number episode of Librarius podcast. I have no idea how many.
Isn't it just +1 off the Legion number because we had the Lost episode?
Well, this it's +1 +2 because we also had the Katie episode. But also, I don't know what that Legion number is because this is the 12th Legion, Legion known as Astartes. So that doesn't work because he's like the 17th or something that's discovered. There's only 2 after this.
Oh, you're right.
So yeah. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to be discussing the Primark Angron and the 12th Legion known as Astartes, the World Eaters, which that's the first red flag of the episode. Jordan, take it away.
Oh my god, I've been waiting for this.
You can't tell me that the name World Eaters was not the first red flag that everyone should
No, it was, but what we all need to understand is now Knock, you'll recognize what I'm about to say.
No.
God damn it, Knock. I didn't even say it. Now my train of thought's gone. Knock, when you did the Rogel Dorn episode, you made a comment that was very poignant, that the story of Rogel Dorn is the story of 2 separate individuals, one of Rogel and one of Dorn.
I think that's what Kaska said, but yeah.
Okay, one of you said something very poignant about that made a lot of sense. This is the story of 2 legions and 2 Primarks. This is the story of Primark Angron. This is the story of the Slave Angron. This is the story of the Warhounds Legion, and this is the story of the World Eaters Legion. And those are, in order to understand how far Angron falls, you have to understand what he was supposed to be. So at the beginning, all of the Primarks are cast out. Every single Primark, we've been over this, is cast out to a different planet from Terra. Angron ends up on this planet called Nuceria, which is a very fucking backwards...
It's the south of the 1700s.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's the American South of the 1700s.
It's the American South in the 1700s. And it's a collective of cities with a thriving slave economy, and specifically, a lot of the slaves are used in gladiatorial fighting.
Isn't that more like Rome? Like ancient Rome?
Yeah, it's more like ancient Rome. Everybody can be a slave, but also you might be a gladiator. It's like ancient Rome. That's a better.
I don't know if there's any gladiator fights in the South, but
there probably was that we.
There were. You just wouldn't call them gladiator fights.
No, we would just call them horrible people.
Yeah, exactly. And surprise, surprise, so are the people that captured Angron.
Shocking.
Shocking. But so what happens is this is very important to know. Every Primarch becomes the leader of their world. The only exception to that is Angron. When Angron crashes on Nuceria, he is almost immediately tranquilized and captured by slavers. Now, he's a Primark child.
He's not tranquilized by slavers.
Yeah, he is.
They find him beaten up.
Yeah, they beat him up.
No, he's found amongst a. I swear to God, I read that he's found in surrounded by dead Eldar that jumped him when he got out of his gets out of his pod.
Yeah, no, he gets out of his pod, kills a bunch of shit around him, and then he starts running from the slavers. He kills a couple of the slavers, and Angron's first memory is running away from slavers. They end up shooting him with enough tranquilizer to take down an elephant
because he's a Primark.
Because he's a Primark, and then they drag him away. They come up on him, but he's still awake. He takes a couple of the slavers with him. But they caught him mainly because he was already wounded. But they dump enough fucking tranquilizer in him to nuke a Primark into submission. The next thing Angron remembers is he wakes up in a slave pit, in a gladiatorial slave pit. There's a bunch of other people with him, and there's a pyramid in the center. These floating kind of if anybody's played Fallout, they're kind of like iBots, just floating robots with speakers that fly around above, and they end up being called the High Riders. Later on, you find out. And so the High Riders fly around, and they start placing bets. They start saying, look at the new slaves we've brought to you for this gladiatorial arena. Who bets who? And the whole arena erupts in different names, numbers. They're betting on the different new slaves that have been brought in. And as this is happening, a sludge starts filling the arena. And it is a corrosive acid that starts melting and killing all of the people on the edges of the arena, which then immediately makes everybody else begin to climb the top of the pyramid to get to the only safe spot. This is where we see that Angron, without a doubt, was the Primark that was meant to be the sanguinius role. And I mean this because absolutely Angron shows the quickest capacity to learn anything faster than any Primark. People laud the Lion for learning language in 3 days. This whole event took 1 hour. And by the time Angron reaches the top of the pyramid, he has learned and mastered language from the screams and warning shouts of the people around him climbing the pyramid. So Angron ascends this pyramid.
It's pretty badass, not gonna lie.
It's very badass. He's also described as any weapon he picks up, by the third swing of the weapon, he's mastered how to use it. And so as he's climbing the pyramid, people are originally starting helping people up. Oh no, the acid's coming. Here, let me pull you up. Let's get you to the next tier of the pyramid. Let's get you to this next step. And as room starts to run out at the top of the pyramid, people start fighting. Angron, through his ascent, refuses to fight anybody. Angron only blocks or turns people away. And when he blocks or turns them away, he specifically makes sure to not hurt any of them. He doesn't throw them off the pyramid into the sludge. He doesn't break bones. He doesn't kill them. He just turns them away from himself. He has no wish to fight any of these people. And so he continues his ascent. He continues turning people away until he finally gets to the top, where there is no more room at the top. And he's forced to throw the last person off of the top of the pyramid with him. And the High Riders crown him Angron, which means son of the mountain in the local language. And Angron, at this point, at the top of the mountain, has mastered English, and he asks the High Rise.
He has mastered High Gothic?
Or no, he's mastered the local language, which is Low Gothic. My bad. Because that's all he's heard. All he's heard is Low Gothic. And so the High Riders say, like, you're here to fight. Congratulations, you won. Like, you did it. And so then they tranquilize the shit out of him again so they can drag him out of the pit because he is a Primark and you don't want to, like, live handle him. Angron goes through many periods of getting tranquilized, mind you. Angron then wakes up in this under kind of like community of these slave gladiators. And there is an old gladiator who vaguely remains nameless. I think he's named in like a lore description, but he's not actually named in Angron's book. And this becomes Angron's adoptive father. He's this older gladiator that cares for him, tries to teach Angron, but Angron just masters all combat techniques before he can teach him anything. So he just kind of guides him and hangs out with him. And Angron ends up developing a family bond with all of these other slaves. And so the slave masters think they can exploit this. So what they start doing is they start putting Angron in increasingly dangerous situations, which wouldn't be dangerous to Angron, but they throw in his family members, his found family with him. So the danger becomes, can Angron overcome this danger, and can he also save the people he cares about? So one instance of this is they actually drug Angron so that he's asleep. They take him and one of his gladiator friends, and they have a giant worm digest them and eat them. The two of them wake up from their drug comatose inside the giant worm, and they only have a few minutes to escape before they run out of oxygen, and then very soon after that be digested. Angron grabs his friend from below him, ties the guy around himself, like basically just is like, hold on to me, hold on to my clothes, tie your hands through here. And Angron climbs his way out through the inside of this giant worm to the top,
Jesus
and then just rips his head open and then flops out onto the arena floor with him and his friend.
That's what it known that we called Conrad cursed extra for his skin temple. This is very extra as well. It's very cool. It's cool, but it's extra. It's very badass, but this feels extra. But go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
They put Angron through the works.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm impressed. I'm legitimately impressed.
Oh yeah, no, and so here is one of the saddest moments in all of Angron's history, and this is what you find out what Angron was made for. So all of the Primarchs have a purpose, right? Sanguinius is supposed to be like the spiritual leader. Lorgar was supposed to be like humanity's like faith. Guilliman is the statesman. You know, Dorn is for defense. Vulcan has the Emperor's strength. You know, everybody has an ability. So one day, they're in the slave pens, and a new gladiator slave is added to the group. And he's a small child, and the child is crying and sobbing, and he's even having like minor seizures, and it's impossible for him to kind of settle down. And so Angron goes over to the boy, and he just feels drawn to him, and he puts a hand on his shoulder, and instantly the boy is completely calmed. The boy stops crying, and the boy falls into a very restful, peaceful sleep.
So wait a minute. Are you telling me that that we could have stopped the Angron issue if we had pre-Butcher's Nails Angron?
Oh yeah, no.
We could have stopped the heresy with this one dude.
Damn. Yeah. So what happens is Angron turns to all of the other slaves in the arena, and they're all staring at him. And what Angron does is he creates a ring of these people to lay down, and they all basically like overlap their arms, so each person is touching the next, and the final hand rests on Angron. Angron's psyker ability is to take all of, and I quote, the trauma, the scarring, the pain and sadness of all others, and take it into himself. And he takes all of these people's trauma, depression, sadness, scarring, anger. He takes all of it into himself, away from them, and allows them to have peaceful, restorative sleep and downtime where they're not plagued by nightmares and dreams and fits and terror. And Angron was created to be the one that bears the burdens of the Imperium and is supposed to be like the one that alleviates all the pain and the kindness the Imperium could show.
Oh, so he's the he's the non-combat version of Perturabo. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so what happens is the High Riders keep wanting to put him in more and more intense situations. So what they do is they take him and what is at this point his aging father, and they throw him in the arena with his aging father and then two Angrons that both have the Butcher's Nails inside of them already.
That's terrifying.
And so Angron is like, hey, I'll be fine. But obviously my dad might not be. Now, to his credit, his dad was an absolute badass in this fight. His dad actually doesn't really rely on Angron. He doesn't fight the Angrons, but he's able to defend himself without Angron's help to let Angron fight them. And so Angron kills the two Butcher's Nails Angrons. And the High Riders and everybody in it is losing their shit. They're like, oh my God, our two best gladiators just beat the Butcher's Nails. This is incredible. That's amazing. Woohoo.
Can I take a moment, Jordan, just to describe to some of the people who may not know how powerful an Angrun is? In the book I'm reading, Traders in Rock, one non-Butcher's Nailed out Angrun is sick, and it takes 25 regular Cadian soldiers to hold him down just to get the sedatives in him. So it takes 20. Angron basically just did the work of 50 men, or probably 75 men, by him fucking self. That's impressive.
Yeah. No, Angron goes off. And remember, Angron is a weapons master. This is a point in Angron in which he is thinking while he fights. This is an Angron that understands what he's doing, that understands the nuances of combat, that is actively thinking what the best decision is. He knows when to block. He knows when to retreat. This is an Angron that's thinking in combat, which is very important.
Unusual.
This is when the High Riders declare that Angron and his father must fight directly after they kill the Angrons together.
What, just because they're bored?
Yeah, they're just bored. They take bets on it. The High Riders are like, fuck it. These are our two best champions. The High Riders are like, fuck it. These are our two best champions. They killed our two like hardest pit fighters. Let's have them fight each other. We're going to take bets on it. It's going to be a huge show. And so Angron just says no. Angron throws down his weapons in the arena and he goes, no, I absolutely will not kill my adoptive father. I don't care how big of a show it would be. Fuck you guys.
Good for him. Good for fucking him.
Yeah, Angron says, no, absolutely not. I love this man. This is my father. And this father is a good father. This father's a way better father than the Emperor is. Oh my God, we're going to get into that in a minute.
I mean, that's a low bar you're setting there.
No, I know, but
you've set a very low bar.
So the High Riders say, okay, that's fine. And then the entire audience starts chanting Butcher's Nails. They all start chanting the nails, the nails, the nails. And so they sedate Angron and they implant him with the Butcher's Nails. And this is where Angron starts losing lucidity. This is where Angron starts having gaps in memories. This is where Angron goes from being the Primark Angron to the slave Angron, because he's a slave to his own anger. He's a slave to the Butcher's Nails. And so what the Butcher's Nails does, for those of you that don't know, is it looks like a set of mechanical dreadlocks that drill through your skull into your brain. And they basically pump anger cocaine into you like 24/7 to just make sure that no matter what you're doing, you're in a blind fury. To illustrate this, in Angron's book, when the Butcher's Nails are implanted, the next 4 pages are black. Like they're just black pages with nothing on them for the next 4 pages until he regains lucidity. There's nothing but like pure anger and hate.
Yeah, because
when the nails are affecting you.
That's a lot of ink.
Because it's also described that like it's not just that like you're like roided up in anger. Like the only way that Angron can feel basically anything or any semblance of happiness is when he's either hurting people or giving into anger.
Right.
Yeah, like it's pretty much like the worst fate of any Primark pre the heresy.
Oh yeah. And so he gets these nails put in, and one night he's shackled up, and he doesn't know how long it's been. And this is one of his brief moments of lucidity. It's his first moment of lucidity since the Butcher's Nails have been implanted. And he overhears 2 guards talking about how Angron killed his own father in the arena soon after the Butcher's Nails were put into him.
Oh, and so he doesn't even remember?
He doesn't even remember. His first moment of lucidity is finding out that he killed his father.
I'm gonna cry, dude. Like,
that's what he does.
Sad. This is fucking sad.
That's what he does. He starts bawling and screaming while chained up, and then he enters another blood rage from that bawling and screaming.
For anybody who's following this series, remember how I said the Primarchs that have interesting childhoods are end up being traitors? Well, Angron is the prime example.
Yeah, Angron is the prime example.
Compare this to like fucking Dorn's childhood of like just like I'm a rich kid in a nice palace. Jesus fucking Christ.
Or fucking Sanguinius's childhood of everybody collectively going, "Hey, that's God."
Yeah. I'm Vulcan. Well, what happened to you? Well, I had to fight some Dark Eldar, but most of the time I just spent my house drinking tea and making hammers in a fucking forge. Life was pretty good.
Life was like pretty good all around.
I mean, Vulcan crawled out of a fucking planet, didn't he?
No, he didn't crawl up a planet. That's Conrad's the one that crawls on the planet.
Why is his skin like charcoal black then? It was
because it's the radiation.
Everyone on Nocturne does. That's the radiation.
Their planet is so heavily radiated that no matter who you are, eventually you will get ebony black skin and solid red eyes. Which is weird that like the nicest space marines are also innately the most horrifying. I just imagine be like, I'm here to save you. Pick up your helmet. Why are your eyes glowing red? Jesus.
Why are you piercing through the warp?
No. Okay,
so,
go ahead.
Now we have to talk about something. So there's a joke that that Angron's the only Primarch that doesn't conquer his planet. This is not true. He actually conquers it the fastest with the least amount of equipment or help. But right as he conquers it is like the exact moment the Emperor shows up.
Well,
what happens is
there are a couple Primarchs who don't conquer it. Like Dorn's just given his planet, and Vulcan never even tries.
Well, I should say becomes like the leader would be better than conquer.
Vulcan also doesn't become the leader, but people are just lying about Angron.
People are just lying about Angron. So what happens is Angron basically. He still has family. Like he considers all of the other gladiator fighters his family. Even in his like angry state, like when he has lucidity, he would not hurt them, you know? And so he considers them his family. And so one day Angron, who is a Primarch, who is now constantly anger drugged, breaks out of confinement because who the fuck is going to stop him? And he goes. And what'd you say?
I said Perturabo.
Perturabo, that's true. But Angron goes and he breaks out all of his other gladiators. And he says, pick up your, not power swords, not power mauls, not bolters. He goes, pick up your rocks, pick up your sticks, pick up the brass that's left on the floor and follow me. We're taking over. And so everybody grabs whatever they can. Literally, they grab sticks, they grab rocks, they grab leftover broken short swords. They grab anything they can and they follow Angron. In 31 hours, Angron and a band of slaves topple the planetary government and kill everyone in charge.
Let me see.
Another comparison about this. If we want to go way back, remember the civil war that happens on Guilliman's planet? That takes 2 weeks to resolve. For Guilliman on his own planet to win one civil war with an army. Like, Guilliman has, like, a fighting force. This bro did it with sticks and rocks in just over a day. God damn.
Dude.
Sticks and rocks and just pure fury.
Just pure fury.
And just pure I hate slavers rage.
Just unbridled fuck-ass anger. Just like... So he takes over, he kills everybody in charge, and he turns to his family, the people that helped him conquer it, and he says, we are free. Like, we are free. We are no longer slaves to anybody. And at that moment, the Emperor descends from the sky.
No, wait, and he's like the ruler of this planet for like 2 minutes before the Emperor shows up. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, he's literally like the ruler of the planet for like a day.
The fuck?
And the Emperor shows up and says, I'm your father. You're going to come do what I want you to do. And Angron says politely, with the anger drugs, go fuck yourself. And so the Emperor, Angron says, no, this is my family. This is my planet. I'm staying here. Fuck you. And if you want to fight about it, we can. The Emperor pulls potentially the worst dad move in history. I kid you not. This might be the worst thing the Emperor does as a dad. The Emperor goes,
That's
okay, this is a high bar, but listen to me. The Emperor goes, okay, those are your family, the people you love, and you don't want to come with me. I'm killing your entire found family, knocking you the fuck out. I'm putting you on board your legion's flagship, and then I'm dipping.
What?
The Emperor basically says, I don't have time for this. You're my kid. Because he's one of the last Primarchs to be found.
He's the third to last. Yeah.
He's the third to last. The Emperor doesn't want to deal with this anymore. The Emperor's like, no, fuck you. Come with me. Like, I want to get this shit done. The Great Crusade needs to be, like, finished. He kills all of Angron's found family, psychically knocks him out, puts him on the Conqueror, which is the Legion's flagship, and then leaves. The Emperor goes, this is your Primarch. And at that point, the Legion was the Warhounds. He says, Warhounds, this is your Primarch, this is your father, deal with him. And the Emperor leaves.
Oh, Emperor. Such a jokester.
This is where, now, they put Angron in.
A jokester? No, that little
scamp. Jokester, that little scamp.
You rapscallion.
You rapscallion. You fool.
He's such a cutie, though. Like, he's so
a little
cute.
scoundrel.
This is a whole thing. I'm just like, if the Emperor had just, like, slowed the fuck down, everything would have been fine.
Everything would have been fine.
Like, if the Emperor wasn't in such a goddamn hurry to get the crusade over with, like, he would have... Oh, man.
All the Emperor had to do to literally fix everything was take, like, a week to get the butcher's nails out of Angron's brain.
Well, he also even says that in the Conrad episode last time. He says in his own words, if only I got to meet with you one last time. It's like, dude, you could have done it. You're an immortal god. There wasn't exactly a timetable.
You can communicate telepathically. All of your kids are psychers.
Oh, God.
And so here's what happens. This is where we've seen Angron go from a Primarch to a slave. This is where the Warhounds go from the Warhounds to the World Eaters. So the Warhounds Legion is not what you think of when you think a World Eater's Cornish berserker. The Warhounds, first off, were colored like the Ultramarines. They were blue and white. And their battle mantra was described as calmly walking in ordered ranks towards the battlefield. They were said to have walked with the same stride walking into battle as a brother would walk with a brother to the training cages for a round of sparring.
So that was a fucking lie.
Probably wasn't a lie, but that changes. That's got to change, like, now, right?
Oh, yeah. Because this is what we need to be clear about. That's how the Warhounds fight, not the World Eaters. The Warhounds fought as like, look, we're going to win. We don't care how long it takes. We're going to walk at you and you'll die or you'll give up and we'll win. And a lot of times, according to the Warhounds, people would see them calmly walking and like they would be talking to each other. They'd have helmets off and they'd be joking with each other walking into the battlefield. And some enemies would completely give up. Like they would just throw down their weapons and be like, we're fucked. And then the Warhounds would go, cool, and let them surrender.
I would like to watch a show with just a conversation between those very Marines that just walked and had that conversation. Yeah, how's the kids? How's the wife and kids? Yeah, that's pretty good. I hope I don't get like injected with some sort of anger steroids in a couple of months' time. That would be pretty shit.
I hope in a few months I can't remember my own name. And so that's the type of Marines that the World Eaters are. That the Warhounds are. Angron is left by the Emperor in his room, because he has his own room on his flagship, as all Primarchs do. And the Emperor tells the Warhounds, like, this is your dad, good luck. So, all of the most important captains of the Warhounds gather around. And like many other astartes meeting their Primarch, they're ecstatic, they're excited. They've been waiting for this moment to be reunited with their father, to have the Legion have a true leader, to be and remember, the World Eaters or the Warhounds at this point, Angron was found third to last. They've seen the sons of Sanguinius be happy and fulfilled. They've seen the Ultramarines be happy and fulfilled. They've seen most of their brother legions be happy and fulfilled and led and purposed, and they want that. And so they all get around, and they're all happy, and they're all ready for this to happen. And so the first captain, the leader at the time of the Warhounds, is like, this is my duty and my honor to introduce the Legion to our Gene Father. But the only problem is through Angron's door, they hear a blood-curdling, screaming howl of anger. They hear shit breaking and being thrown, and they're not sure how to feel about it. So they send in the first captain.
You jettison whatever room he's in. That's what you do.
Yeah. They send the first captain into Angron's room. Angron fucking ragdolls him. Angron murders the shit out of the first captain.
Jesus.
He turns him into a red paste on the far wall. So then they send in the second captain. Angron bodies the second captain, murders him in cold blood. Anger. They send in the third captain. Angron murders the third captain.
They didn't learn after the third one?
Because they don't know what to do. They're like, our Primarch is here, and he keeps killing everyone of importance that we send to him. And it gets down...
Oh my god, they're so dumb!
It gets down to Karn, who is, if I'm correct, he's the seventh captain. And
I don't know what to do. Keep sending in captains.
And so
to be fair,
Karn is like,
to be fair, that is an imperial tactic.
Yeah.
Just in general, just keep.
So Karn kind of gets to this line, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And at this point, all of the captains of the World Eaters have basically regarded of, if you go in that room, you die. And so now everybody is treating Angron's front door like the gates to hell. Like, if you walk through it, you just don't come back.
It's so fucking funny.
And so Karn goes in there. And Angron is like in a corner, like in the far corner of the room, hunched over. He's scratching his head. He's making angry noises.
And he's covered in blood.
He's covered in blood. There's like ceramite body armor like littered on the floor. There's like guts hanging from the ceiling. All of the lights, except like one, have been smashed out. Like it is an abyss. And in an instant, Angron flies across the room, grabs Karn by the arm, breaks it, and throws him to the other side of the room. And Karn's like, oh god, I'm going to die. And Angron gets pissed. I mean, of course he's pissed, but Angron gets mad. He's like, why the fuck will none of you fight me? He's like, not a single person you've sent in here will fight me. All you do is stand there and get killed. And Karn goes, we are your sons. We could never dream to fight you. We could never dream to be anything but what you want us to be, and at your beck and call. And Angron goes, I don't know if I like that answer. So while I think about it, I'm going to throw you into the other wall. And he throws Karn again and like breaks his leg. And this is when Angron starts having kind of lucidity. And Angron picks up Karn and is watching Karn's wounds heal because he has astartes physiology. And Angron goes, you're like me, but like not as good. Like you heal almost like I do. You're almost as big as I am. You're similar to me. Why is that? And Karn says, we're your sons. Like we are your sons. We're your family. And Angron goes, no, you're not my family. The bastard emperor killed my family. And he throws Karn across the room again. and Karn...
Is Angron's life a Three Stooges bit?
Dude, but kind of. Dude, so this whole process is Karn and Angron going back and forth. of Angron basically just like breaking every bone in Karn's body, and Karn just being like, "Please, you're our dad. Stop doing this." and Angron going, "No, fuck you," and throwing Karn again. And so at one point, Karn, finally gets through to him, and he goes, "No, we're yours to use as you see fit. We're your sons. We're completely subservient to you. We'll never turn against you. We are your children." And Angron goes, "I can use you however I want." And Karn goes, "Yes, you can use me however you want. You can use us however you want." And Angron goes, "Okay, it's time for some changes then." And this is when Angron is at the height of his lucidity. Because when Angron is lucid, he's fairly reasonable and smart, as a Primarch would be. He's obviously limited a little bit, but he gets an idea. And so finally, all of the captains, including the 8th company captain, who just assumed he was going to get ragdolled in 20 minutes, is standing outside of Angron's room, and the doors open up, and Angron comes out, and Angron says, "When I was with my brothers, when we freed Nuceria from the High Riders, as we went from town to town burning and murdering all those who lorded over us, they called us the Eaters of Cities. With you at my side, we will turn you into the Eaters of Worlds." Damn. Hence, the Legion turns into the World Eaters.
Title theme, please.
And then theme. And then the Imperium had the best idea. Let's just exterminate all of them and be done with this.
No, that wasn't what happened. Instead,
I know it's not.
Instead, Angron gives his astartes a challenge. Every time they go to a planet where war happens, Angron tells them 31 hours. You have to bring this planet into compliance in 31 hours. And sometimes they succeed. They're astartes. They're a legion of astartes. Sometimes they succeed. Many times they did not. And every time they didn't, Angron would look at them and say, "You are failures." Angron would look at them and say, "You're failures and you're no sons of mine. My real family toppled a world with nothing but sticks and rocks in 31 hours. You're supposed to be the greatest warriors in the galaxy, and my son's at my side that can do whatever I want. But you can't do what I did in 31 hours despite all of your technology and all of your resources."
Jesus.
I mean, to be fair, that's not wrong.
It's not wrong. It's an accurate statement of what he says. So
I mean, I just like to add something that makes this whole like Angron slaughtering everyone who enters his room a bit worse. Is that if you think the World Eaters, they were formed or they were implanted with Angron's gene seed, right?
Yes.
And before the butcher's names, Angron was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
So I just consider it being like all of the captains standing outside waiting to tell mom that they threw up in the bathtub and just get slaughtered as they enter.
Just absolutely well, that's what happens. They're all outside and they're like excited. They're like smiling and they're like joking around with each other. They're like, "Dad's home." Like it's literally like a bunch of kids at the front door waiting for their dad to walk inside and they just get bodied.
It's kind of sad, but it's so funny.
It's horribly sad. It's so sad.
But it's really funny also.
And so at this point, Angron is tired of his troops failing. He's like, 31 hours. I give you 31 hours. You have Thunderhawks and Bolters and power armor and Melta and plasma grenades. And you have all this shit and you can't do what I did with my bare hands. And so this point, Garland Surlak, who is the head apothecary of the World Eaters, him and Karn analyze Angron's butcher's nails. And their mission is to craft a reproducible version of the butcher's nails so that they can be like their father, that they can put it into the Legion and become one with their dad. Basically, they are these happy. They are a Legion of Astartes so dedicated and loyal and wanting of a father figure that they are all willing to go insane in order to get his approval.
Which is the exact equivalent of saying, "Man, I wish Daddy would love me. Here, let me take this heroin."
Yeah.
God,
Jesus.
damn it, these guys suck.
They don't suck. They just want their dad to love them.
The entire... Oh, please, you didn't have the same empathy when the fucking Iron Warriors fucking burned their home planet. Yeah,
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. No, that's fair. That is a completely respectable criticism. But
I get it, it's sad, but God, the world leaders suck.
Oh, no, that's fair. That's fair. Angron is a story of like sad lost potential.
I can't stop taking the image of them just lining up, like standing in a line outside of his door. Like, yeah, who's next? Who's next? Not me, not me.
Seven comes before 8. Karn, go in there.
It's so stupid.
7, 8, 9, your first, Bill.
But Angron says, you have to have the butcher's nails before I deem any of you my sons. And they have trouble making the butcher's nails. The butcher's nails are like old technology. I think I might be wrong about this, but if I'm correct, the butcher's nails are actually Necron technology, which is like, of course.
It's even worse.
But so they're trying to make one, and they have some prototypes where they put them in brothers, and like they end up going batshit insane and burning their brains out. Like they get so ridiculously mad, they burn their fucking brains out. Now we're gonna get to why Angron hates psychers. When Angron tells his legion after they fail one of their 31-hour missions, hey, every 10 guys, one of you dies. Like line up in rows of 10. One of you fucking dies.
Oh, he pulls the Perturabo.
He pulls a Perturabo. And what happens is one of the Space Marines is like, no, sir, come on. Like, we love you. We want your appraisal. We want your approval. But like, dude, you can't just like murder a 10th of the Legion. Like, you can't.
And
you just
said,
can't.
"Watch me."
Yeah, no. And so Angron looks at Karn and says, Karn, what the hell? You told me you would do whatever I wanted you to. And Karn was like, hey, man, I didn't say we shouldn't kill a 10th of the Legion. That guy did.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
This is, I swear to God, somebody wrote this episode while watching the Three Stooges, because this feels like a Three Stooges movie.
It's like, hey, it wasn't me. And so Angron starts getting a fit of rage. Like he's getting mad. And everybody's like backing up a little bit because Angron's standing in the center, frothing at the mouth. And Angron starts scratching his head where the butcher's nails are. And he accidentally breaks one of the plugs in his head. Like he snaps it. And because he turns his head so violently in anger. And it makes him go absolute like crazier than normal fuck ass mad. And he rips out his axe, and he has like an entire, it's not like a whole legion, but he has multiple chapters worth of Space Marines in front of him on the Conqueror, and he grabs his axe and literally just like stage dives into his into 2,000 Space Marines and just starts hacking. Like,
Jesus.
And so none of the Space Marines want to fight him because they're his Primark. So they all throw down their weapons and they start trying to like football tackle him to like restrain him. Like,
not a good idea.
They start throwing themselves at him, and he's just straight chopping heads, breaking arms, crunching armor. Like he is going full on like BFG Division Doom 2016. And so there's only a couple psychers in the Legion, and the psychers create a psychic warrior that delves into Angron's brain to find the memory of him when he was sedated by the slavers, and they drag that memory to the front of Angron's brain, and it tricks.
Why would you do that?
Well, because
the worst idea.
No. It works. Let me explain why. So they pull the memory of him being sedated to the forefront, and so Angron's body believes he is sedated by the slavers, and so he just passes out.
Oh, I thought he
Big
was
brain.
gonna. I thought they were bringing the part. I thought you were bringing the part where he was like blacked out, where he was. I thought he was gonna relive the memory of him butchering his dad to death. I was like, Jesus, that's a bad idea.
No, it's not that bad of an idea. It's not that bad of an idea.
I take it back. I take back my screams.
So
Yes,
they do.
I was just about to add. Yes, Sparkle. The nails do in fact pump anger steroids into his brain. It's very true.
It's very true.
He's actually a very good guy.
And yes, it is always Necron tech. The Necrons make everything better and worse simultaneously.
Everything. Angron absolutely is going to end up in Trazen's museum because, like, he has butcher's nails. Well, had, I should say. Blech.
No, he still has them. They're still there.
Even in his demon form, I thought he got.
Nope.
Isn't it killing him?
If you see his demon form, it still has the butcher's nails. They're just demon dreads now.
Wait, aren't they like slowly killing him as well?
Oh yeah, they're absolutely slowly killing him.
Not in demon form.
So he's just a dumbass.
Not in demon form. Not in demon.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
No. But so
He's still a
anyway,
dumbass.
So anyway, Angron passes out, and so they start trying to further the research on the butcher's nails so that they can kind of like make it so that he's happy with the Legion. Because at this point, Angron has not said that anybody in the Legion is his son. He doesn't recognize them as any of his family. He still only believes that his old family. Yeah, and so they're going and trying to make the butcher's nails. Angron's passed out. Angron relives his entire past while passed out. Like, he relives the whole thing.
Oh, God.
Every single evil Primark story just a pick-me dad moment. God.
Because
they all are. They all are. It's not just Angron. I'm not bashing Angron. It's all of them.
It's all of them. So, but one of the psychers gets lost in Angron's consciousness while going through it. And so one of the psychers lives through Angron's life with him.
Oh, God.
And dude, that psycher comes out and like they finally wake Angron up. And that psycher comes out and goes to the rest of the psychers and is like, guys, I don't know if we can make this better.
Guys, GG, just put it down. Put everything down. Let's go home.
And just because Sparkle brought up something I know people are going to ask, the reason they don't just rip the butcher's nails out is they do try at... Yeah, they do try it one time, but they're like, it almost kills Angron. And for some reason, that was the unacceptable outcome. But go on.
So this is where Angron does what I like to call Angron's vacation. So Angron is tired of everything. He's like, fuck it. I don't want to be here anymore. None of you are my kids. My dad, the Emperor, is apparently a fucking asshole. I'm angry all the time. And so Angron sneaks away from his Legion. He steals a frigate and goes into the warp and travels to a faraway planet. Karn has to take a destroyer and track Angron through the warp. He ends up finding Angron about 3 months after Angron gets to this one planet. Like, Angron's been on the planet for 3 months when Karn gets there. And Karn finds the frigate that Angron took, and he finds that everyone on the frigate is dead.
Please tell me Angron is smoking a cigar with a scotch in his hand on the beach somewhere.
No, this is so much better. So Karn goes down to the planet, and this planet is described as a death world, similar to prehistoric Earth. There are literal giant alien dinosaurs roaming the planet. I said last week that a teaser for this episode was dinosaurs, and this is why. He's on a planet with giant alien dinosaurs, and there's a few tribes of humans on the planet. And Angron lives in a cave on a mini throne of skulls made out of the dinosaurs that he kills. And the local human tribes will come to Angron and offer him sacrifices and tribute and ask him to go hunt these giant T-Rexes that are endangering their, like, tribes. And Angron spends the better part of 3 months going full on Horizon Zero Dawn, hunting dinosaurs. Angron spends a 3-month vacation just hunting dinosaurs on some far off planet.
I need some time off. Let me just kill some fucking T-Rexes.
Yeah, he wants a vacation, so he goes to a place. And so Karn comes in, and Karn's like, Dad, come back. And Angron's like, fuck, I knew you'd follow me, Karn. I didn't want you to, but I knew you would. And Karn's like, please come back. We want to be your children. And Angron's like, no, I like it here. Nobody bothers me. I get to kill as much shit as I want. And I don't have to answer to that stupid emperor asshole. And at this point, Karn is like,
I mean, I would want that life right now. Like, killing shit. I get to be by myself. I don't have to deal with the emperor. This is a good life.
Yeah, no, if I had Angron's strength, I'd do the same.
Keep in mind, Angron, even in his absolute psycho state, tries to actually remove himself as a problem. Angron goes, I don't fit in here. Let me just go be by myself. Like,
go off, King! Like, goddamn, he's such a good Primark.
Dude, he is. Like, dude, it's literally not his fault because he tried to leave and everybody was like, no, come back.
I love him. There's nothing anyone can say.
And so Karn tells him, he's like, look, dude, fuck the Emperor. We all love you. Like, we want to be your sons. Fuck the Emperor. And Angron goes, the Emperor doesn't care about me. He just wants me to be a tool of destruction in his wars and conquest. All he wants me to do is kill and conquer in his name.
Very true.
And Karn is like, dude, we just want you. Like, all the world eaters want is you and your appreciation. And Angron has a moment where he goes, you guys aren't going to stop coming to try to find me. And Karn goes, no, we're not. And Angron goes, you know what? Fuck it. I want to kill shit. And if you guys are going to keep bugging me, I will be everything. He goes, I will never work for the Emperor. I will be what he wants me to be. I will be the ultimate killer, the ultimate conqueror, and the ultimate destroyer. Every planet I visit, I shall eradicate all life on, and I will leave nothing for his empire to rule over.
Base Angron.
Which is unfortunately the worst fuck you any of the Primarchs give.
Yeah. Like,
because he just feeds into the Emperor's strategy anyways. But yeah, he's like, aha.
Well, no, Angron's like, I'm going to salt the earth. Like, when I leave a planet, it will not be usable to your Imperium. Like, it will not be something you can govern. There will be no people left on it. It will be a barren rock.
But the only thing that the Emperor wants is to get rid of the Chaos Gods so they stop fucking with the Empire, and he just has to get less believers to do that. So,
yeah.
Congratulations, Angron, on the fuck you of your dad that actually helps out your dad.
Yeah,
it turned out to not help him, though, in the end.
Yeah, he did definitely turn out to not help him in the end. But that's because...
And for the record... That's Logar's fault.
Yeah, that is Logar's fault. Also, this is why Angron is the easiest Primarch to turn traitor. Because from day one, Angron's like, dude, I fucking hate the Emperor. I'm literally going to do everything I can to, like, not help it. Like, fuck the Emperor. Like, I just want to kill people. I'm not doing anything for him. And so Horus is like, dude, do you want to fight Dad? And Angron is like, oh my god, yes! I've whole life.
Yeah. Finally!
Yeah, there were two Primarchs that took no convincing to turn the Emperor. Angron and fucking, oh god, I can't remember, Mortarion. And Mortarion and Angron. It's like, oh, you want me to fuck my dad over? Sweet!
Dude, Angron was literally like, when Horus came to Angron and was like, dude, we're gonna betray Dad. Angron was like, oh my god, when are we storming the castle? I'll be there.
Fucking finally.
Yeah, Angron couldn't have been happier.
I only have like so we're not gonna have time for the question segment, but I do actually have one question. Does he get along with any Primarch at all?
He doesn't really get along with anyone. He feels very like disconnected and alone, and he feels that all of his brothers look down on him. And they kind of do, because Leman Russ has a talk with him where Leman Russ is like, dude, you gotta chill. Keep that in mind. Leman Russ, the berserker barbarian, sits down with Angron and goes, bro, you gotta chill.
Calm down, dude.
We do have to accelerate a little bit because we are running up on an hour.
All that happens is Karn finally gets Angron to come back. They get a working version of the Butcher's Nails. Karn is the first World Eater to get the Butcher's Nails put into him. Karn goes completely black with rage, murders the Space Marines that put the Butcher's Nails in his head, And only then, when he comes back to lucidity while holding the organs of the brothers he just killed, does Angron finally acknowledge Karn as his first son.
That's why Karn is so loyal.
Yeah. And then they mass produce the Butcher's Nails, put them into the whole World Eaters Legion, and Karn and Angron go on literally batshit killing shit for the rest of eternity.
It's kind of like sweet in a way. I don't know why I think that's sweet, but I kind of think
It's a little
it's sweet.
It's a little sweet.
It's like, I love you, Dad. I love you too, son. And then they just lived happily ever after.
They just lived happily ever after, absolutely murdering everything. Also,
I mean,
we said we'd
still
talk
happy.
about this, so I just want to mention it really quickly because we did say we'd talk about this. Lotara Sarin is Angron's shipmaster.
Yeah.
Like his main pilot. Do you want to talk about this, Kaska?
Yes. I want to talk about this because, first of all, she is my favorite part of this whole story. Also, it is International Women's Month. Hooray. And so...
Wait, it's a whole month?
Yeah.
Let's go!
Yeah, they get a day and they also get a month. There's a day within the month, but it's also like
based.
it's like Women's Appreciations Month, at least in America.
Based? Super based.
So take everything that Angron does, all right? Now, Angron, in a full roided outrage, is ripping through his flagship. And Latarda Sarin, who is a basic-ass Navy soldier, who is totally loyal to the World Eaters, sees him and his soldiers killing each other and all of the Navy men, and she goes, if they keep doing this, there's not going to be anybody to pilot the ship. So while Angron is in full butchers out, like the same rage where he slaughtered 2,000 people, she waltzes up to him, holds out her hand and says, stop. If you don't stop killing people, there's going to be no one left to pilot the ship and you will fail to beat your dad. And Angron is staring over her with an axe and goes, you're right, and doesn't kill her, and basically she lays out a plan to isolate him and all of the World Eaters from all the Imperial Guardsmen so that way they won't die. And Angron just listens to her, and he does this in his own words because the amount of balls it would take to stand up to me as a basic human is worth my respect, and I won't kill you.
God damn.
Angron just goes, the stone's on this woman. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
That's insane.
Quick side note about her. She complains to Angron about the Remembrancers, and immediately Angron gets rid of all the Remembrancers.
Yeah.
Bro.
And she lives to the heresy. Like, she
lives through the heresy.
She also, when they're getting ready to fight to siege Terra, a bunch of people, a bunch of Imperial Guardsmen on the ship turn against Angron, and she convinces all of them that they're going to do this grand escape and flee off, and then blow up the Vengeance in their like little escape ships. And all the loyal people to the Emperor get off the ship, and then she turns the ship about face and blows them out of the sky. Like, she just tricks people and cons everybody in order to make everything work, because she is as loyal to Angron as Karn the Betrayer is.
Yeah, she is a big fan of Angron.
Oh, there's actually like fan art of like her standing next to Angron because she was just so fiercely loyal to him.
Oh yeah,
that's so based.
Yeah, and
also
remember, she is a basic.
She's a normal human.
She came from a womb. She's not injected with anything special. She's just a pilot who just has the ability to talk Angron out of a butcher's nail rage.
That is so based. That is so incredibly based.
Remember when those 6 Space Marine captains tried to do it? What happened to them? And she's like, ha! He even did it better than fucking Karn the Betrayer did. Because he got his ass kicked. He didn't even touch her. He didn't even
God damn. Oh, fucking hell. Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Dude, it is fucking hilarious. So, with that being said, I'm so sorry I took so long talking about Angron, but there's so much cool shit with him.
I mean,
I could go on.
There is a lot.
I could go on.
I do want to mention that something we talked about before about him being turned. He's the first one that ascends into Demon Primark. And he does so because on the planet when Logar is fighting Guilliman, Angron has gotten so angry from the Butcher's Nails and he's killed so many people that Logar feels that he is going to die like the other people who got the Butcher's Nails into him. So Logar turns Angron into a demon prince in order to keep him from fully succumbing and dying to the Butcher's Nails. And Angron, as soon as he basically like looks at his hands and does like a wailing cry into the sky screaming "Father," like several times, like basically saying, "Father, is this what you wanted for me?" Yeah.
That's so fucking sad.
I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cry. I'll be back.
And then unfortunately Angron proceeds to just not be cool as a demon Primarch because he just keeps getting beaten over and over and over again.
He loses in part, a large part, because he is a corn demon, and so he doesn't fight smart. Like, his only tactic of fighting is like, I'm going to run forward and punch you in the face. And like, I'm not going to block, I'm not going to defend, I'm not going to evade. Like, stab me as much as you want. I'm just going to stab you more. Like,
that's fucking
yeah, because
he's so cool.
because he loses to Perturabo. Then the next time we see him is in the War of Armageddon, where he and his bodyguards of 12 bloodthirsters are rampaging on Armageddon, and they're fought against by a bunch of Imperial Guardsmen and 109 Grey Knights, and only 13 of them survive. Only 13 Grey Knight Terminators survive the ordeal. And then he's next seen again.
Which, by the way, wait, full stop. That's the hollowest victory ever. You lose 100 Grey Knight Terminators and a bunch of Imperial Guardsmen to an entity that can't die. You just briefly banish him back to the warp. That's the hollowest victory on the planet.
That's pretty hollow. And then the last time we see Angron is on Armageddon during the forming of the Great Rift after the fall of Cadia. The word bearers try to summon Angron onto the planet yet again, and the salamanders dive in and stop the summoning. So that's the end of Angron, as we know.
Yeah.
But he could still be there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there could be the next book. It's like, oh shit, Angron's back, bitches, and he's pissed off again.
I can change him.
He is still very alive. I can change him. I can change him.
Calm down, Angie. You're not yourself.
Have a Snickers.
This is not you, Angron.
You're not you when you're hungry.
God. Angron is a Three Stooges / Snickers commercial.
Dude, I gotta tell you, Angron, unironically, is one of the funniest. Like, him and his setup is one of the funniest Primarchs. It's like, all right, everybody line up and go in until Angron gets bored of killing you.
I love it. I fucking love it. It's so... dude, you're gonna see what I'm gonna rate this, dude.
I already know. So I'll spoil it and just say that Angron is my second favorite Primarch, right behind Sanguinius. I give him a full 10 out of 10. I love Angron so much. Like, so much.
All right, so you've given Sanguinius, Vulcan, and Angron.
Angron, yes. Those are my 3 10 out of 10s.
Fair enough.
Kaska?
Oh, I give him an 8.5. I like Angron. He's now my second favorite Trader Primarch that we've covered, or in general, right behind Perturabo. I do kind of relate to Perturabo's story a bit more, just because it feels a little bit more sad because because like Angron doesn't ever fall because it's Angron's fault, so it doesn't feel as sad to me. But Perturabo's story is that Perturabo defeats himself the entire time. Because we never get to really meet Angron as himself, so it feels a little bit cheated. And also like gets a knock because Khorne is by far and away my least favorite of the Chaos Gods. Like, you get wizards, you get disease, you get sex cult, and you get I'm Angie Boy. And I'm sorry.
I love I'm Angry Boy, though.
I understand you like I'm Angry Boy.
You and I disagree on this even more fervently. Like, this is the bigger disagreement. Khorne is my favorite Chaos God.
Tzeentch and Slaanesh all the way for days.
Mine
Sex
goes.
cults and wizards.
I would probably go Korn, Zinch, Slanesh, Nurgle.
I can understand.
Nurgle? I would go Nurgle first, actually, and then Korn, and then Zinch, and then last Slanesh.
I'm sorry, I can't put Nurgle first because they give him a fuzzy starship.
But he's so cool!
I can't.
They do. He also he has the saddest demons too. Oh my god.
We will.
does.
Yeah, we'll have to cover that at a different time because I think knock. It's like midnight for you, isn't it?
Nah, it's like late, but not that late. It's fine. Don't we usually start at like now? Isn't this our usual starting time?
We just started an hour ago. Like this is our normal ending time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anyways, I should get to the rating. Or were you finished first of all, Kaska?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, 8.5. Like he's cool. I was coming into this podcast with everything I knew about Angron. I was ready to slap a 4 on this bad boy. But nope,
I bumped you 4.5 points.
Yeah, I was ready to slam a 4 onto this guy. Hey, to be fair, I was ready to give Conrad a 0 before I read his book.
That's true. That's fair.
I'm gonna give him a 10.
A 10?
10. It's my second 10 ever, I think. I don't think I gave it. No, actually,
You gave Vulcan a 10.
Yeah, I'm the only one who's only given 1 10.
Yeah, so mine is on Vulcan, Dorn, and Angron. The reason why I give him a 10, one of the only reasons I give him a 10 is like listening to this, like what you explained, and just thinking of all the shit that this character has been through. It's a character. Like Angron is really, really good as a character, and I just think he's very cool. And I would have. It's gotten to the point that like I would like to see him without the butcher's nails. Like, can't you just take him out? Like, just
there's a fan art photo I look at all the time, and it's loyalist Angron, and it's like what, dude? I will send you. Hang on. I will try to find it before the podcast is over. But it's so fucking dope, dude.
I'm trying to find this picture. I want to put this picture in the Discord at least of the fan art. Oh, this fan art of them kissing. I don't want that.
That's the best.
I don't want the idea. Wait. Oh, that's right. I forgot. There's a series that somebody did of all the Primarks as women.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I put a picture of it in the last podcast episode, but not gonna lie, female roided out Angron, kind of hot.
I'll agree.
What do you mean?
It's in the Discord.
I wouldn't use kinda.
Okay, that's fair enough.
No. Also, I just like to add to like generally Primark scores.
Oh wow! Actually, here's a better picture. I'm not gonna be able to put it in the podcast, but in the Discord there's a picture of Karn the Betrayer, Angron, and Loretta.
That's cool as fuck.
All together.
That's fucking cool.
She is so fucking tiny. God, she's so fucking tiny compared to the rest of them.
Oh yeah, she is incredibly tiny.
I think is really cool to mention as well. I think when it comes to Chaos Gods, which one do you think has the coolest aesthetic? And not like virtues or anything, just aesthetic.
Oh, aesthetic? If you want to go off aesthetic alone?
Probably. I would maybe say Magnus?
No, Chaos God. So like
Chaos God.
Oh, Chaos God. Oh, okay.
Magnus do got drip though.
Also, loyalist Angron in the chat.
Oh, he's so beautiful.
Oh, his armor's not red?
No, the original Warhound colors are blue and white.
Oh, okay. Best looking?
I like him.
Chaos God? I kind of want to give it to either Slanesh or Zinch.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd have to give it to, if you want to go with just are we doing? Yeah, it's got to be Slanesh for me because like the World Eaters, the Emperor's Children, they look really cool, and the Slaneshi demons
Cool's dope.
Got that whole like weird Eldritch horror stuff going on that I like.
I'm gonna go Slanesh. I'm a full on say it's Slanesh.
Yeah, but like I like the only ones I don't like. The worst one aesthetically for me is Nurgle.
Really?
Yeah, Nurgle.
Nurgle's the worst one for me too.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm in the minority. He's the coolest in mine.
Really?
Because Korn, like as much as I don't like Korn, like Korn shit looks fucking cool.
Oh fuck yeah!
It looks really cool. But yeah, so that is the episode, and next we're going to do another Primark that I often forget exists. Korvax Korax, because
You forget he exists so hard you don't say his name right.
Yeah, what? How do you say his name?
Corvus Corax.
Corax.
Oh my god,
Birdman.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Corvus. It's Latin for raven.
I'm also gonna. This is also a Primark where, unlike, Jagatai Khan, I forget he exists. Like when I when I read about Jagatai, I'm like, oh right, the White Scars exist. They're cool. And I read about the Raven card, I'm like, oh, they exist. That's it. They exist.
Do you want to know a real Raven Guard fact? It's so stupid. Do you know that you know how there's trials of Astartes, right? Like to become an Astartes?
You mean like after the heresy, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that one of the Raven Guard's unironic trials of Astartes is to go into the forest and catch a bird?
Like
that's it.
Just like any
I
bird?
think we should end the episode now.
You just go into the forest, and you have to catch a bird alive. That's it.
Okay. God, that sucks. This whole
I can do that. Give me like a fucking day and I'll do it.
I mean, do I have to use my bare hands?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You just gotta get it.
Wait, you can't use like a trap or like a contraption or anything?
I believe you just have to get it with your bare hands. I believe you're
Never
not
mind, I'm not that sneaky. I'm pretty clumsy.
I mean, I could get like a turkey, but I couldn't get like a hummingbird.
I assume they want you to grab a raven.
I think so, but it might just be any bird.
Also, just
because I could grab an ostrich.
Just a little spoiler for like why I think they're lame. I think it's really lame that we have the really cool assassinarium and then an entire legion of assassins.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Oh, but one of their successor chapters, the Death Specters, is cool as hell.
I haven't seen anything about them. I'm sorry.
Okay, fucking Kaska, Lionel Johnson's book. They're in the Ghoul Stars and they fight those crazy fucking aliens.
Oh, well, they were like barely mentioned, so I don't really remember that.
Oh shit! No, they look sick.
No. The Death Specters in the future sit on a glass throne that saps the chapter master's life force to keep those psychers and aliens at bay and protect the Ghoul Stars.
Oh god damn, dude.
All right. Well, we're gonna keep talking until this thing raids out. We're gonna go raid a good friend of mine. Let's make it orky. She's painting something in Warhammer, I'm sure.
Yeah, Death Specters way cooler than Raven Guard.
Let's go ahead and end this here. Have a good one, everyone.
We're rating.
Have a good one.
Follow Twitters and stuff to find out when the next episode is. Bye-bye.
God, he's so cool.
Oh my god.
Angron or the Death Specters?
Angron.
Dude, right? I told y'all.
Like, still, my least favorite Legion of traders. Well, besides the Night Lords.
That's completely
besides the Night Lords. The Night Lords are the worst. I'm just gonna say right now, they are the actual worst Legion. Like, but I don't like the World Leaders very much. But Angron, impressed.
Yeah, Angron as a character, complex and cool as hell.
Yeah, does not get the credit he deserves.
I just like to say, like the last two pictures, besides them, everything I sent is Death Guard. Death Guard.
Yeah,
I think it looks so fucking cool.
I still don't think
Nurgle
cool.
Marines are cool. I don't think Nurgle Demons are cool.
Very true. Okay, that's.
I don't really like either, to be honest. I like Nurgle powers, but yeah, I don't really like the aesthetic of Nurgle. I like the concept.
Look at that fucking dude with the bell over his head. It's so cool.
That is cool. That is
looks like an Elden Ring monster.
Also, they do have Mortarian's cool like moth butterfly form, and that's bitchin'.
Yeah, Mortarian looks so cool.
Mortarian gets cooler as he becomes a trader.
Yeah.
So we have Korvax, And
I am so pissed that I still haven't been able to. Like last year, I tried to order. So Forge World has this like Rogaldorn mini, obviously
Yeah.
only for
Oh, I got the
display.
Forge World Sanguinius mini.
Oh,
I can't get the Rogaldorn one because they keep selling out.
Oh, here's a quick question. Here's a quick thing for you. So, do you remember? So I looked up Angron's stats because they have a model for him, so you can play him in 30K. As that's like a post heresy monster. So Dante. So let's take Mephiston, right? He's like the most powerful single model we have.
Right.
He gets 5 attacks in a single combat.
Yeah.
Demoned out Angron gets 6 plus 2d6 attacks.
Wait, there's an Angron mini?
So he gets 6 plus 2d6 rolls. So like 6 potentially plus 12.
Yeah.
Wait, you can buy an Angron mini?
Yeah,
I have it. The Forge World one?
Yeah, you can buy an Angron.
No, like Demon.
Oh, Demoned Out? I don't know. I have his Forge World pre-heresy one.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I gotta paint minis again. It's been a while.
I haven't painted minis in a little bit.
I haven't painted them either. I don't have like my paint setup. It's in a box right now.
Oh yeah, you moved houses, so that's more.
Yeah.
I haven't done shit.
So apparently you're just encouraged to use like a bloodthirster model because he's just the size of a bloodthirster. Because that's what he looks like. He just looks like a bloodthirster.
Yeah, Demon Angron is a Primark bloodthirster.
Yeah.
I mean, so I gotta get going, but I'll also use like the closing note to say that I think Angron is actually like my second favorite Primark at this point.
Dude, same. He's so cool.
He's so cool. I'm looking into like I was reading him while you were talking as well, like reading some small tidbits, and I was like, "What the fuck? This guy is so cool. He's such a good boy. He did not deserve it."
For me, it's probably Vulcan Perturabo Sanguinius Angron in like a close descending order of those 4.
Yeah.
We only have 2 episodes left.
We have 2.
Mine goes Sanguinius,
Primarchs.
Angron, Vulcan, probably Magnus.
Magnus is pretty cool, but actually Magnus might beat out Angron. Angron might
I think
be...
Ariman is cooler than the
Ariman's
Primarch.
fucking cool.
Who is?
He's cooler.
Ariman?
No.
Yeah, he is.
No.
Dude, Armin is amazing. Does he cause all of the chapter to be Rubric Marines? Yes. Yes, he does.
But Rubric Marines are cool.
Rubric Marines cool. Yes, they are.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, I gotta get.
And he looks cool.
And oh my god,
he does look cool.
Speaking of that, Knock, you can leave for this because I'm just gonna make Jordan's mouth water. Jordan, just get over yourself. Get the audiobook of Trader's Rock. Fucking read this book.
No, I need to wait for it to come out on paperback.
It is the absolute. It's the GOAT. It's almost as good as Cadia Stands. Like I might like it better than Cadia Stands. Like it is so good.
Damn, book 3 beating out book 1.
It definitely beats out book 2. That's for fucking certain.
Oh yeah. Book 2 was okay. I liked it.
It was fine.
But book 1.
Peace.
All right. Because it comes out next month. I don't have to wait that long.
Okay. Because they're concentrating not so much on Mika this book, which is kind of a little bit of a bummer for me, but they are concentrating a lot more on Benedict than they did in the last book.
Oh, Benedict is cool.
Oh, he's he kind of drops off in this one a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, he kind of turns into a little bit of a douche, but he becomes. I think they're setting it up that he's like gonna be like Yasaka's replacement. That like he takes the place in the heart of the Cadians, where
that makes
Yasaka
sense. I could see him doing that.
I mean, basically, he had the potential to do it, but man, it's real good. It's real
good.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
and I need.
Well, I will get it next month. I probably won't read it next month because next month I have to read the next Eisenhorn book. Dude, I'm so sorry. I just keep reading about Inquisitors, but I'm so deep into the series. I have to finish it before I start reading another fucking.
No, it's okay. I actually have to stop reading Traders Rock / listening to Traders Rock, so I actually can